Shalom. This week's Sedra Beshalach. I'd like you to tell a story about Jerry. Jerry couldn't believe it. What was supposed to be an annual meeting of his shul and the board's annual update had turned into a screaming match reminiscent of a kindergarten. Insults were being thrown around just as much as ideas. Jerry's head ached with the constant bickering and he needed peace and quiet. He walked out of the meeting room and walked a few blocks to clear his head at the kotel. As Jerry sat at the kotel, he opened up a chumash and started to peruse this week's Sedra. In our Sedra, Hashem recorded that the Egyptians were chasing after the Jews as they left Egypt. They ran after them, and as Paro drew near, the children of Israel lifted up their head, and behold, the Egyptians were advancing after them. They were very frightened, and the children of Israel cried out to God. They said to Moshe, "Is it because there are no graves in Egypt that you have taken us to die in the desert? What is this that you have done to take us out of Egypt?" The Ramban noticed the contradiction in the Jews' behavior. On the one hand, the Jews, upon seeing the Egyptians drawing near, were scared and called out to God. These same Jews are being described in the next verse as asking Moshe Rabbeinu, "Why did you take us out to Egypt? Was it no, there weren't enough graves in the desert? You took us out to Egypt just to simply die right here." The Ramban explained the contradiction and said there really wasn't a contradiction. Rather, there was two different groups among the Jews. One group strongly believed in God, and that he was the only address to help them against an Egyptian army dead set on annihilating them. The other group were heretics who didn't believe in God or the unique destiny of the Jewish people. Jerry thought about the division amongst the Jewish people. He thought to other times throughout Jewish history when the Jews were also divided. From the times in the Second Temple, when the Hellenists and the Maccabees went head-to-head, to when the Haskalah movement faced off against traditional Jews. While not all division amongst our people are generated by the battle between those who led their lives by the convictions of God's existence and those who break off from our tradition, many were. This made sense, for after all, what made the Jews one people was our allegiance to God. As soon as Jews gave up that allegiance to God and to his Torah, division would be an automatic result. Jerry understood that his synagogue division was nothing like times of past. Yet Jerry also knew that division in any form is poisonous and must be ended. He closed his chumash and headed back to the meeting. Entering the meeting, Jerry asked to speak and talked about the need for unity amongst the people. Jerry stressed their common desire to build a loving community under the shadow of God's Torah. He talked about past divisions and their poisonous effects. What happened next was up to the people and their ability to focus on common priorities. And the same is very true for all of us. Shabbat Shalom.